All right, welcome to this workshop on breaking free from body shame. This is, I gotta say, a vulnerable subject for me. I think it is for so many people. I mean, I haven't yet met a person that it does not find it to be a bit vulnerable for them, to be quite honest, um, because it's something I think so many of us deal with, so many of us struggle with, and so I have been spending a lot of time myself personally working through this over the last years. I would say since I was a teenager, honestly, but especially those last years after becoming a mother and recognizing a whole new realm of a mirror of where I still was dealing with this issue when I thought I had um, I had worked through so much of it only to have new layers revealed to me. And isn't that the case in life when we think we've achieved this moment of I've got it figured out, I've got it all figured out, and then bam, something shows up and goes, actually, there's still some areas that you could work on this. So yeah, that's been an interesting journey for me. So I wanted to write about this and answer some of the questions I think so many people come to meditation for and are looking for support in is anxiety and depression and general like mental health unwellness. Um, but I think so much of it can be rooted in this for us too. And so I think it's important that we don't forget to talk about this because all these things are interrelated. And of course, there could be other reasons why we're feeling anxious or we're feeling depressed or we're feeling, of course, there's so many other areas. But I just think that this is a sort of a topic that isn't broached upon often and especially not in the realm of meditation. And so I wanted to kind of break that taboo and share a little bit of the things that I'm doing that are supporting me and hopefully in that process you find some of these tools helpful for you and something that you can use day to day. So, first I want to talk about the impact of body shaming in our lives. I mean, I'm sure that if you're watching this or you're here with me right now that you are not a stranger to some of the impacts on yourself. But just to give you a little background on my story, before I started teaching meditation, for many years, actually, since I was 13 years old, I started doing pageants. My mother put me in pageants. I was like Miss Teen Portland, first runner up, and I just ended up diving into the world of modeling and fashion industry for a number of years, all throughout college, all throughout my early 20s and late 20s. And even when I was working at Microsoft and I was doing other jobs, I was still dabbling in this realm. And I'd say even the beginning, first few years of teaching meditation, I was still part of this industry. And, you know, there was some jadedness that came out of that because I really was confronted with people who uh, did not accept me the way that I looked. And that's a difficult thing, right? It's hard enough that we cannot accept ourselves, but to have other people say, actually, you need to lose a few inches here, or you need to be thinner, or you need to change your nose, or you need to do this or that. It's really challenging to be a teenager or a young adult and have people say these kinds of things to you and not have it affect you. So, luckily, I had been studying psychology and I started turning to yoga and meditation and I had some tools for me, but I saw so many other people in that industry really, really hard on themselves and doing things that were so unhealthy in order to fit into like these BMIs that are so low that it just you could see that it was really impacting them in a negative way. And so I saw people have body dysmorphia, eating disorders, even drug abuse, in order to try to fit into these unrealistic beauty standards and hating themselves, even though everyone else thought they were beautiful. Like, it doesn't really matter. That's what I realized. It doesn't matter what you look like on the outside. It doesn't matter what shape your body is or if you fit into some standards of beauty that society puts out or not. Like, all that really matters is how you feel about yourself. And that's the most important thing at the end of the day, because um, you just don't know what's going on inside another person. You can look at the exterior and think that they must be so happy, but inside that they could be crumbling. And I saw that, and I experienced it myself too. And as I've gotten older, I'm turning 40 in a couple months, and as I've continued to meet these wonderful people and women, especially in the worlds of yoga and meditation and this kind of more conscious community, I still find that in the conversations I have, these personal conversations with each other, that I haven't met a single person yet who's completely overcome this and this fear about aging and their bodies changing and not being in control fully. So what I was noticing, and I was writing about this, is looking into some of these stats. It's just crazy. Like, we as a society want to glorify youth, of course, especially for women. Like, we tie it to our value as, can I stay looking like the maiden, the 20-something-year-old, the teen? If you look at all the magazines, if you look at most of the posters you see in aesthetic clinics, like, they're 20-something, like a 20-year-old, right? And so we're trying to always hold on to something that is impossible to hold on to as we age. And yet even those teens are experiencing society telling them that they're not enough, right? We have filters all over Instagram and TikTok, and most of the teens that have been surveyed about this say that they are themselves experiencing being teased about their appearance, or having depression or anxiety about their appearance, or not feeling good about their body image, having a hard time like actually seeing what they really look like in a mirror because they're so used to seeing themselves through a filter. And that's really sad. I mean, I feel kind of fortunate that my generation growing up, I didn't have social media until I was just nearly completing college, and certainly not all the filters and things that we have today. And so you can only imagine the impacts on a developing brain, right? Our brains are still developing till we're 28 years old or so. And so I think it's really important that we start to have these conversations with each other, and make it not so taboo, and share that, like, we are all in some ways having to deal with this on a day-to-day basis. And 95% of all the aesthetic procedures that are being done around the world globally are being done on women, and more than half of those are like the non-surgical procedures like Botox and dermal fillers. And it's skyrocketed, and it skyrocketed in 2021. They did a survey. It was like 54% higher than the years before, and it just shows the direction that we're going as a society. And so that's why I think it's important that we talk about this, and start to challenge the standards that the beauty industry is putting on us that affect us. No matter if we're in the yoga and meditation world, like, that's very closely tied with the fashion industry, right? Look at Lululemon and the Aloe Yogas and all these things. Like, it's all intertwined. We see beautiful bodies on these posters for yoga and meditation. We think, oh, I'm supposed to look like that. And it's just really not all about that, right? It's interesting how it's crept right into the most conscious communities. Such a sneaky thing. So I had to start asking myself, is my motivation for improving myself, or my body, my appearance, where does my motivation come from? Is my motivation rooted in self-love, in really like true health and self-expression, or could some of it be rooted in self-hatred or unacceptance, feeling like I need to change because I'm not lovable for who I am, the way that I am? And if you do have some of those feelings of, self-hatred or unacceptance, like, you're not alone. I have had those feelings myself, and I continue to notice when they pop up. And yet I think it's something that we have to continually peel back the layer and ask ourselves, where is this motivation coming from? And re-examine, not to say that we shouldn't go to the gym, not to say that we shouldn't try to eat healthier, that we shouldn't wear makeup, or we shouldn't do any of these things. I'm not saying that we shouldn't do any procedures, or we shouldn't have, color our hair, or dress nice, or do any things to improve our image, because of course we all do these things, or some of them, but rather just examining where's the root of the motivation coming from. I think that's just something that only we know, and only we can examine, and only we can
continue to dive deeper and en route, where within me do I still have some things that are not born of love, that are not born of self-love and acceptance? Where is there still unacceptance within me, or feeling like I'm not enoughness? And always connecting to that. And we can do that in meditation and connect to those parts of us and nourish and heal those parts of us, so that eventually the motivation starts to stem more from a place of truly, like, I want to be healthy, I want to express myself in my own individual way, I want to thrive and feel sexy and have fun, and it come from like this joyful place, not from a place of, oh no, I'm not good enough the way that I am, so I need to change that. Make sense? um so in in talking with many people about this, I've my belief, my school of thought around this is that there's two paths of self-love and loving ourselves. And like, one is accepting ourselves fully as we are. And that doesn't mean that we can't still aim to strive for excellence and improve ourselves, but loving ourselves as we are and accepting ourselves as we are allows us to be able to still improve ourselves from that, like I just said, that healthy place, for self-expression and from love. But number two, it's also taking a stand for our health, and noticing where we have unhealthy patterns that aren't serving us. And that could be eating sugar a lot, which is my thing. I'm a sweet tooth. Or it could be an addiction, smoking. It could be, having too many alcoholic beverages throughout the week, or just like not being active enough in your body, or whatever the unhealthy pattern of behavior is. It's like taking a stand by for yourself and your health and saying, this unhealthy pattern of behavior is no longer acceptable. I don't do this anymore. And allowing ourselves to transform through like this, taking a stand for us. So it's both accepting ourselves and taking a stand for what we need to do to be healthy. And if the answer is is no, I'm not doing this from a good place. If I'm not healthy and thriving, and the answer is no, it takes courage to step out of our comfort zone and take action towards improving ourselves and towards improving our mind and our body and our spirit. And I commend you if you've been taking courage in that part. And I have had to take courage myself too. So one of the things that I've uncovered is how we can improve our well-being while also reframing how we perceive and accept ourselves is loving kindness meditation. This is like one of my favorite forms of meditation. I teach it in my meditation teacher training, and a lot of people have not done this before, and it's something that the Tibetan Buddhists have widely shared that the Western world needs more than anything, is this loving kindness. And I agree. And even though some people go, that sounds a little woo-woo or airy-fairy or touchy-feely, actually are the people who end up having the most powerful experience from it. And this is one of the most effective tools I've encountered for self-love and for learning how to break free from body shame and from not feeling enough in some way. And loving kindness meditation, if you've never heard of it or never done it, involves wishing happiness and reducing suffering. So having wishes for a positive outcome while also reducing suffering in yourself or other individuals, if you are aiming it towards others. And there's studies behind it that say that this lowers our stress response, this reduces our self-criticism, this increases our self-compassion, our positive emotions. It just has so many broad benefits. Like, it's totally worth your time to spend, even if it's just once a week, doing this. It might not be an everyday thing, but give it a go. And I know you're going to find, wow, this is really improving me. Not even just once, but on a consistent basis. It's a cumulative effect. So the difficulty with this practice is that loving and accepting ourselves or having compassion for ourselves isn't always easy at first. And we might have this little voice inside that says, oh, well, if I do that, then it'll make me complacent. But no, it has the opposite effect. When we cultivate loving motivation to care for ourselves, it makes us more likely to eat healthier, to exercise, to overcome behaviors like maybe eating disorders or substance abuse or any other healthy addictions or patterns that we have in our lives. And it can also feel a little bit challenging to do, to be kind towards ourselves if we've experienced hurt and rejection in the past. So, you have to give yourself some patience and grace with the process if it's not so easy at first. And it could take some time before you can really master and develop that capacity to do it. But it's worth stretching that capacity little by little every time, and connecting to your heart's qualities of love and joy and peace and freedom and acceptance. And if you can really connect to those feelings in your heart and your body, that's the most important part of loving kindness. It's not about the words, it's not just about the wishes. That's pretty flat by itself. You really want to connect with the feeling in your heart. And so that's what this practice is all about. I want to say something else before we dive into the meditation part. That there's other aspects that I like to weave into loving kindness meditation. So I like to practice loving kindness mixed with body scanning or body neutrality scanning, right? So this is like, instead of just focusing on loving or hating your body, body neutrality talks about emphasizing and appreciating your body for what it does, rather than how it looks, like the functionality of your body, the capability of your body, like your lungs and chest for breathing and for your heart pumping, and your legs for walking, and your skin for feeling sensations, these kinds of things, like appreciating the functionality of your body. And if you are struggling with body shame or any kind of the issues we talked about, I think it's really important that you also look into mindfulness practices, because that's going to help you connect with your body in a more like present and non-judgmental way. So I wanted to pop that in there too. And in the meditation, when negative thoughts come up, you can actively question or challenge that inner critic by asking yourself, whose voice is this? Why do I believe this? Because most of the time when these voices come up, it's not an accurate reflection of reality. It's not true, and it might not even actually be coming from you. It might be a voice of someone else, a former lover, if a friend or a kid at school poked fun at you or teased you. Like, it could be from any other source that's just embedded there, and it feels like you're telling yourself that, but it actually is not even your own voice. The other thing you can do, you can combine this with some joyful movement, like if anything that feels good in your body, like dancing, walking, doing yoga, you can make this your own. And I do think that if you don't have a joyful movement practice in your life, that's really also helpful for breaking free from body shame, is like just doing it for the love of it, doing it for the love of the joy of the movement, not because I'm doing this in order to overcome not feeling enough. And the last thing I'll say before we do the meditation is that this is a journey. This is a process. It takes consistency. It might be a lifelong journey for most of us. I'm not going to lie. I do feel that's the case for me and so many people I know. And it takes some daily maintenance, because we're combating all these societal pressures, and it's continuing to go in a direction in our society and with technology that really is the antithesis to what we're trying to achieve here. And so we have to constantly catch those shaming thoughts and look at ourselves. I look at past photos of myself from when I was like 20 years ago, when I was obsessively dissatisfied with my appearance. And I look back at those photos and I go, wow, I looked great. What was I thinking? How could I have thought that I thought so low of me at that time, or not enough? Now I look back and I think, wow, I looked so beautiful and youthful. And I have to remind myself of that now when I catch critical thoughts arising for me now, that like, this is not an accurate reflection of reality. So be patient, be kind with yourself. It takes time and consistency, and as much as you can limit exposure to the people and environments and the media platforms and the photo filters that are triggering these negative self-comparisons that make you feel worse about yourself, the better off you're going to be. And if you struggle with an eating disorder or body dysmorphia, or an addiction, or any kind of real, like when mental health was really plummeting, you're feeling depressed, you're feeling overwhelmed, and it's something that you can't seem to cope with, don't feel shame in reaching out to a licensed therapist to help guide you through these challenges. I know this is not just the case for women. This is also the case for men. I know men that struggle with body dysmorphia and have worked through cognitive behavioral therapy and found such tremendous relief and improvements in their mental health and the way that they talk and think about themselves. So please do reach out to somebody. It always can be a supplement, and meditation is just there to assist you in that process, not to replace therapy. All right, so any questions before we jump into the meditation? I want to just make sure I have time to answer any of your questions first, or any thoughts that you might have about this subject. We have a few folks on the phone, on the Zoom right now, and there'll be people watching this later on. But any thoughts you might have right now, or maybe inspirations or things that have helped you, happy to hear that too. Renee, no question. Thanks for sharing this beautiful message. I concur. Yes. Thank you, Renee. Good to see you too. I only see your photo, but not you, but you're rocking it, Renee.
I have a question. This is Anne Marie.
Yeah, hi, Anne Marie.
Hi. Thank you so much for sharing all this. I'm curious how often you do these loving kindness meditations. If there's like kind of a recommendation, like is this a daily practice,
Right.
or just kind of when you're feeling sort of that way, where you need it? Do you
Yeah.
have kind of a recommendation?
I'd say that I use it when I need it, but I'm also at a point where in my meditation path that I kind of switch between different kinds styles of meditation all the time because I know many different tools. I'd say if you're really in the thick of this right now, and it's like it's really rubbing up against all the issues that you're struggling with right now, I would say do it consistently for a little while, like practice it every day and start to notice the marked improvements. And then as you start to feel a little better, taper down, but don't just go. The thing that most people goes, oh, I'm feeling fine now, I don't need it. We throw it out. But it's a regular maintenance, right? It doesn't have to be daily maintenance. It can be that you do this quite frequently in the beginning, and just so that you really start to rewire those ways of thinking. And then after a period of a couple weeks or a month or so, you wean yourself down to maybe just a couple times a week, and then maybe just once a week. um, I do recommend that whenever you are noticeably having thoughts of not feeling enough, or looking in the mirror and not liking what you see, or just comparing yourself to others, that you say, take that as a message, a sign within that says, oh, I probably need to practice this again. So it's really no right or wrong. There's no hard, fast rules on this. But my guideline is to say practice it frequently. Maybe do it every day or every few days in the beginning, and then do it as you need after that.
Thank you. And just a follow up to that, do you have like a recommendation of guided loving kindness meditations, or like where we can find like resources so we can find them? Like, do you have them, or?
Yeah. So I do have a loving kindness meditation I can share, and I will make that available to you when you signed up for this. I'll send it out to those who signed up to be on the Zoom. So I'll link that, and then I'll have this recording of this practice available to you later, so you can watch it on YouTube. You can come back to it anytime you want.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So take a moment right now to get comfortable in your body. You can sit with back support. You can lie down. You don't have to sit cross-legged. That's not usually the most comfortable for most people. So it's more important that you're comfortable here. And let's take a moment to relax your body. Take a deep breath in, then release it.
Notice where your body's making contact with the surface beneath you. And let yourself relax into that support, letting the shoulders fall away from the ears, relaxing the space between your eyes, your temples, forehead, and softening your jaw. And see if you can invite the breath into your heart, creating some openness in the chest, inviting the breath down into the abdomen, inviting the body to be soft here. We tend to hold in often, sometimes unconsciously holding in. Can you relax and just let yourself be soft here? Noticing what sensations or thoughts arise as you do that. And I'd like you to bring a little appreciation through your body right now, noticing the sensations in your face, your head. And so often we can look in the mirror and judge what we see, but can you instead in this moment feel your body here and notice its function, how it serves you, how your eyes allow you to see, your eyelids keep your eyes moist, allow you to sleep well, your cheeks and forehead, they show expressions, allow you to connect with other people. If you've ever seen someone that is void of expression, you know how important it is that we show our expressions to others in order to feel we can connect with them. We can be authentic. Your mouth for allowing you to speak, smile, express yourself, laugh. Your nose for allowing you to smell the world, to breathe. The most important functions for life to exist. And moving down your body, feeling your arms and shoulders, appreciating all the things that your arms can do, allowing you to hug people that you love, to write, to cook, to drive, to carry things, to do hobbies, all the things that you can do with these arms. Appreciating the core of your body here, your abdomen and chest. Appreciating your chest for its functions, breathing. And for those who are or plan to be a mother, for nursing a child, perhaps, or just creating softness as someone snuggles against you. and your belly, for all the important organs that it's holding here. Truly, you could not live without it. And how it moves with your body to allow you to dance and have movement to be soft and flexible to accommodate whatever you eat, or if you carry a child. Bring appreciation to your pelvic region, our reproductive organs. You can also feel shame sometimes around this area, our glutes. Just bringing a general appreciation for what this area does for you. And how without any of these parts, your life would not be the same. It allows you to feel pleasure for women and men to create life. It's also our creative power center here, where creative energy arises from passion, emotion. We store so much of it here. And then moving your appreciation down to your legs, appreciating what they do for you, that carry you through this world, through your life, from place to place. Everything you've seen and experienced, for connecting to the earth, for letting you dance and walk, run, be active in sports. Or to enjoy wearing your favorite shoes. So just appreciating the whole body right now, every part of you. Sending some love in with a deep inhale. And letting that breath and love move through every cell of you. Taking another deep inhale. And letting that breath move through you with a thank you. Thank you. You might repeat that silently to yourself as you take another inhale. Thank you. And now I'd like you to visualize and imagine someone or something that spontaneously evokes a feeling of joy within you, a feeling of kindness within you. Maybe it's a child that you know, a baby, a pet, a loved one. Picture them in a pleasant setting, smiling at you. And just notice your heart's connection and that warm, loving feeling that arises within you. And can you send them this loving wish from your heart and really connect with the feeling of it? You can silently repeat to them, may you be happy from your heart. And now take a breath in. And on the exhale, let the image of this person or thing fade away. And now imagine yourself as a small child. Maybe you're 5 or 7 or 3. innocent and smiling, curious and playful. Seeing your eyes and your hair, maybe a favorite outfit. And can you see your heart's connection now with this child? Can you sense how they are lovable and enough as they are, even with imperfections? How they are deserving of love? And can you send them a loving wish? May you be happy. And then sending them another. You are enough, just as you are. You are lovable, just as you are. And feel them accept those words as you take a deep inhale. And on the exhale, let the image of them fade away. Finally, imagining yourself right now, not a past version of yourself, not a future version of what you could be, but really connecting with who you are in this moment, feeling you and your body in this moment, and the parts of you that need to hear this. Can you stay connected to those feelings of compassion and acceptance and love you had for that other being, for yourself as a child? And can you spread that same love and acceptance to yourself now, like a loving parent or friend, to the parts of your body that need it? Moving your attention through any part of your body that you've struggled to accept and appreciating what that part's done for you, sending those parts these loving wishes. You are enough, just as you are. Really connecting to that word, telling yourself, you are lovable, just as you are. And if there's any part of you that you need to ask forgiveness from, maybe you've been hard on yourself, you can say, I'm sorry. Please forgive me. I love you. Thank you. So take another moment now to share whatever wishes that you'd like to share with yourself in this moment. And if any part of you has thoughts of self criticism arise, send that self critical part of you the same wishes, the same reassurance. You are lovable. You are enough. Or, I'm sorry. Please forgive me. I love you. Thank you. And now let's take a deep breath in and exhale, letting go of the wishes for now and just being here in this moment with the sounds around you, the space in this moment that you're in, appreciating the present moment. And at your own time, when you're ready to, you can slowly open your eyes and come back into the space. So, welcome back. This is something I hope you can do on your own, in your own time. You can always come back to this recording and listen to it again and again. Or if you want to try it out on your own, if you can't access it in a moment, you just begin by sending kindness to your body and then kindness to someone that's easy for you to evoke some warmth and love. And then imagine yourself as a child and send that same loving kindness to your little self. And then finally direct that compassion and that love to each of your body parts and to just yourself and any critical voice popping up. All of those parts are the ones that need to hear it the most. And you can use any wishes that you like. It could be, may you be happy, you are lovable, you are enough. That's one of my favorites. You are enough, you are lovable. And the Ho'oponopono is, I'm sorry, please forgive me, I love you, thank you. All right. Thank you all for joining me today. This has been a good topic for me to share openly, and I hope you got something, even just a little bit out of this that you can take home with you and do on your own time. And just remember, you're not alone in this journey. We're all in this together. We're all moving through the stages of, you know, of getting older every year, of our bodies changing and shifting, and society's pressures. And so just remember that you have a web of support here. And if you want to reach out to me, I do private sessions. I also I have a meditation teacher training that I do once a year here in Bali. It's in May 15th through June 1st in 2025. And every year the dates are a little bit different. So you can just check my website, leahsantacruz.com. And that's a powerful journey of self-love. I think more than even just a meditation teacher training, it's a self-love journey that we go through together. And you can always reach out to me on Instagram. My handle's at Lasant, and I do retreats and I teach classes here in Bali as well. All right, everybody, have a beautiful rest of your day or evening wherever you are.